Welcome back to another episode of Light Beer Dark Money. I'm Sean Noble.
I'm Chris Clements.
It is Tuesday, December 2nd. It's December. How crazy is that? I mean, there's just no way.
Is it too early to say Merry Christmas?
No.
No.
I put the, the kids came home from school and I had the tree up.
Okay, I saw the picture, like your wife posted. You had like 1,000 people at your house.
That wasn't our house.
That wasn't your house.
That was my sister's house.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we had all
the Noble
all the
clan
siblings.
is not small, ladies and gentlemen.
We had all the, all the siblings and our kids, most of our kids, at my sister's place in Tucson, in the foothills, Catalina foothills.
At least you were in the foothills.
Yes, and my sister was less than happy at how much criticism I give Tucson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? She's all sold in on the old
No.
pueblo?
She lives there, so she loves it.
Yeah. Well, she's in the foothills.
Yes,
there's a lot to love in the foothills.
But I think she's in on the annexing.
Is she really?
Oh,
that's great.
Yeah.
No, that'll save Tucson. Oh, at least it'll move it in the right direction.
I think so.
Yeah.
So no, it's not too early for Merry Christmas.
We got our real tree yesterday.
Oh, you did real.
Yeah.
See, we haven't done real yet. We're waiting for Leo to get older. But I put the tree up and then the kids decorated it last night.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Still a couple weeks to go.
Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday.
It is Giving Tuesday.
Small Business Saturday.
Do you plan on giving to anything?
Yeah, we give stuff.
Yeah. Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Because my email today is all about Giving Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, you and I both do a lot of things to support a lot of different causes.
Yes, we do.
So, yeah.
Well, happy Giving Tuesday.
Giving Tuesday. And what you can give us, ladies and gentlemen, is a like and subscribe.
Yes, please.
That helps the show, helps you, helps us, helps everybody.
Yeah.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yes, it does.
I mean, the more that we show that we have support, the more we can justify with our wives why we do this.
Why we do 2 podcasts a week. It's so funny that we both have the same discussion.
If you don't like and subscribe, we're going to go away.
It's funny we have the same discussion every week. It's like, why do you do 2? Well, because...
Does anyone care?
It's fun. We enjoy it.
Probably not.
We're a glutton for punishment.
Yeah. No, but we love it, and we
got to keep our brains active at our advanced age.
That's right. We're staving off Alzheimer's by doing a podcast. Speaking of
Alzheimer's and
let's
staving off our old age.
Let's lead with this, even though I wasn't planning to lead with this. But there has been the president announced, and actually, you have the clip of the president talking about his MRI. Is that right? Yeah. So play that. I think that's probably the place to start.
Out of here before something happens. When they asked about my MRI, MRIs are very.
Governor Walz asked you to release the MRI, right?
Can you tell us what it was
Governor
for?
Walz, you mean the incompetent governor? So if they want to release it, it's okay with me to release it. It's perfect.
What was the president?
It's like my phone call where I got impeached. It's absolutely perfect. So if you want to hear about it or if you want to release it, do you want to have it released?
Yes,
News Nation, failing News Nation. News Nation is doing lousy, by the way. But if you want to have it released, I'll release it.
Tell us what they were looking at.
For what, release it?
No. What part of your body was the MRI looking
I
at?
have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodness.
He is on point.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my God.
The turbulence was causing. Isn't News Nation
Actually, News Nation is doing fine, I think.
Is
That's the one with
Is that Chris Cuomo on that one?
Chris Cuomo
Okay.
and
That's interesting.
Ashley Banfield and
So-
all the rejects from CNN.
So he announces that he got an MRI, and then it just becomes this like, oh my gosh, he got an MRI. He release the MRI results, and then let's listen to what this doctor has to say about it.
Dr. Jonathan Reiner. He was late Vice President Dick Cheney's cardiologist for nearly 30 years. Doctor, thanks so much for being with us. Walk us through what a preventative cardiac MRI entails.
Well, there really is no preventative cardiac MRI. This is not a standard test for an 80-year-old man to undergo advanced imaging. Boris,
let's stop here for a second. This is not this is the president of the United States. Nothing's going to be standard.
Well, of course not.
I mean, it is baffling. Chris, how many interviews did you see on CNN of doctors talking about Biden's health or mental decline?
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. Ever.
In how many months? I mean,
and what's clear now, unfortunately, for Joe Biden is that he had cancer during that entire
not only
time.
that, but I mean the
advanced prostate cancer.
And all of the things that were going on with his cognitive decline.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's all intertwined, right?
It is astounding.
It's all interrelated.
It is astounding to me that we are not even a year from when we were all discussing the decline of Joe Biden.
Well, I mean, a lot of people were discussing the decline of Joe Biden as early as 2016.
Yeah, I mean, but the fact that that the news, the mainstream media completely covered for Joe Biden for years. And we have a situation in which the president of the United States just happens to be Trump. All of a sudden, it is a matter of national security that we have the MRI.
Of course.
It's ridiculous. Let's keep this going for a second because there's a couple other things I want to point out.
You can almost script it.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird and defensive, evasive tone to it. First of all, this is not part of the president's comprehensive physical examination. He had that in April, and then he underwent some more testing in July. If you look at his first administration, the president, like most presidents, only underwent one comprehensive physical exam every year. So this comes, completely off cycle. Second, it's filled with euphemisms. Again, Dr. Barbara Bella, the president's physician, states that he underwent advanced imaging. Well, what specific advanced imaging did the president have? Was it an MRI, as the president said? Was it a CT? Did he have both? Why not just spell it out? It's as if a patient came in for a chest X-ray.
I mean, it's absurd. The level of we're going to seriously talk about what exactly is this?
It's just hypocrisy at its finest.
So then Barbella does release the MRI, and
you brought the receipts.
I have it. It says White House physician Sean Barbella
Easy for
released
you
a
to
memo
say.
Monday saying all of the 47's imaging was perfectly normal, according to NBC News. We now know that an MRI was performed to check on Trump's cardiovascular system and abdomen after Trump told reporters Sunday he didn't know which part of his body was examined. Barbabella stated Trump's heart was pumping blood just fine and all his major organs appeared to be in good condition as well. The MRI was described as preventative and was performed in an effort to identify any outstanding issues in the president's overall health. I mean,
okay,
great.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what we want? Guess what? Joe Biden never did that.
Versus Joe Biden, who didn't have a PSA test for over 10 years.
It's unbelievable. Was it 10? A PSA more than 10
years?
It was like
at his age? 2015 or something like that. Or they did it and they kept it quiet.
Yeah.
So like I said, what's really apparent now is that he had advanced prostate cancer his entire time as president.
Yeah.
Along with advanced dementia.
Yeah. No question.
So it's the height of hypocrisy for all of a sudden there'd be so much concern actually about a president who he is standing in Air Force One ripping on the press, which is somewhat humorous and just typical at the same time. But the press never had that access to Joe Biden. Joe Biden was asleep in the president's quarters the entire time. There was never that type of access or interaction in the 40 years of the Biden presidency.
No.
Ever.
No.
That's
But
the first thing I always
just-
recognize is like, oh, well, the president said this. Oh, he's being so mean to the press. It's like, this is the most interaction you've had with the president in
I mean,
5-6 years.
It drives me crazy that just because Trump is the one who's president, they have to try to make this stuff up as if it's some big deal. Literally right after the biggest mental health cover-up in modern history.
and you see Biden now in the clips when he's out and about. He's at the Cheney funeral. He was kind of yucking it up, and then he would stare off into space.
Yeah,
it's
the idea that he could have been president again is just
it's laughable,
absurd,
and it's ridiculous to call into question Trump's health. I mean, when he has more stamina than I think you and I combined.
Yeah. Well,
in terms of being able to do the job. I know he doesn't sleep. I know he
apparently
texts
doesn't.
at people at 3 a.m.
Right. So that takes us to Mark Kelly.
Where is Mark
Where
Kelly?
is Mark Kelly?
Where could he be?
Mark Kelly, well, I'll tell you where he is, at least where he was yesterday or the day before. He is doing a press conference in his ever-burgeoning quest to run for president.
Yes. If there's any ever a doubt that he's planning to run for president, this is the press conference.
So he wants to, this is, remember we talked last time about him doing a video.
Well, it'd be nice if he were just senator of Arizona and actually
yeah.
live in Arizona for, a certain period of time.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and play the tape.
So, throughout his entire career, in business, reality TV, and politics, Donald Trump has had one and only one play: bullying his opponents into silence. He did it as a failed casino owner who bankrupted his properties and screwed over his contractors.
Does he look like a troll, or is it?
He
just
did
me?
it as a reality
I was
TV
thinking
host,
Elf.
known for firing people.
But
And he's
He
done
needs
it
to-
as president.
he needs to
He tries
work on the
every day
delivery.
to intimidate people with no
he's
regard
very
for the
small.
rights or well-being of the American people.
pause it for a second. So
He's a very small man.
that's a great point, because here's something that is a fact. We have not had a short president in modern history.
Yeah, and it's a little bit disarming when you come up on Mark Kelly.
Because
he's little.
he's like he can't be 5'6".
No, he's at least 5'4",
5'4", 5'5", maybe. Yeah.
5'9" with the afro.
What's
I
you
mean-
know what? I just realized that we have
Little
two very
Fletch
short. We
reference.
have two very short senators.
Yes, short in stature and short in mental capacity.
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
they seem like bright people. I mean, I don't think you get into, Gallego got into Harvard. I don't think you do that. You can't be a dummy getting into Harvard. And Senator Kelly was a fighter pilot and an astronaut. That takes some brains.
Yeah, sure.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to question their
Their
cognitive
intellectual
ability,
capacity.
their
Yeah.
their intellectual capacity. I will definitely challenge their judgment
Well,
and their philosophy.
we haven't even started talking about Gallego.
But this is clearly Mark Kelly leaning in on
Well,
this idea that he can run
and
for
he's been
president.
under a considerable amount of fire, rightfully so, for the Seditious 6, quote unquote, video that was funded by George Soros. Now we're finding out, and which they accused the president of giving unlawful orders and told our troops not to obey, unlawful orders. But then they couldn't cite what those orders might have been. But now the press is backtracking, and they have found.
Well, they have something.
What
they're trying
could
to point
be
to. They're trying to point to
unlawful.
something which is a potentially unlawful. Is this shooting of this narco-boat?
Yes.
So let's see what this is. Mark Wayne
Mullen from
Mullen
Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma.
If they do find that the defense secretary gave an order to eliminate people who were already injured, Mark Kelly was just here and he said it's potentially a war crime. Should Pete Hegseth face consequences?
Listen, you're once again making assumptions that's not even kind of accurate, I don't believe. Mark Kelly is saying the most ridiculous things I've ever heard right now. He's encouraging men and women in uniform to question the orders of superior officers. He just got done saying that the president was racist because he doesn't like brown people. Yet I sit in front of you as a Cherokee Indian, and I'm very close friends with the president. It's ridiculous what Mark Kelly is saying, he's losing credibility every single day.
Full stop. Do you know that it's not
Why
true?
would it be true? And then we know that the Navy or the Coast Guard has picked up survivors already and sent them back to the country. So now we're saying that they did it once and they didn't do it again. I don't believe this at all.
If they
And you know what? Even if they did, it really doesn't matter.
Well, let's back this up. So we have had we've had instances where we've shot at boats that are carrying drugs to the United States and destroyed them. And in this particular,
let's paint a broader picture here. There is a class of narco trafficking throughout the Caribbean. There are ships, large ships that are almost like ghost ships that are traveling around making drugs in the middle of the Caribbean. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen.
Yeah,
that.
where they have
They're
tracked
making
these
drugs
ships.
on the ships,
on the ships, these large ships,
and then they load them up on these boats,
and they load them up on these boats, and these boats head towards our shores.
Yeah. So as the boats are heading towards the shores, that's when they get shot by our military, and the claim is that at some point, well, the original claim was that Pete Hegseth had ordered a kill everybody order. Now they couldn't find anything in writing, so they said, "Oh well, he said it." Well, okay. I mean,
right? Leave no survivors.
We don't know exactly what the context was, and so it happens that they shot a boat, and turns out there were 2 survivors clinging to wreckage, and the commanding officer, Special Forces commander, sent a command to take another shot and killed those 2 folks. Now, was that, some people are saying, well, that's a war crime, that's against the Geneva Conventions. We don't know the circumstances of what was going on. We don't know whether that is or not. And we certainly don't have there's no evidence that this was coming from Trump, and there's no evidence that it actually came from Hegseth. And Hegseth, in the meantime, has said, we stand by our commanders. We have their back. He, was following whatever protocols were in place and necessary in the, taking on this mission.
But again, it seems like the press, because they were hammering the seditious 6, quote unquote, pretty broadly over the last several weeks. And then all of a sudden, here comes this story about a narco boat that was blown up and there were survivors, and it could be a war crime. And those are the orders you have to question.
Yeah.
And then if those were questionable orders, who gave the order? And then whoever gave the order needs to be court-martialed. And does it start at the top and go all the way down?
And it doesn't.
Will Trump pardon the people who are, had instigated this horrendous act on people who were bent on invading our shores and polluting our children with
poison? Well, no, killing our people. I mean, these are
hundreds of thousands of people have died from fentanyl
drugs.
Overdoses.
Yeah,
that many completely preventable because of this type of trafficking.
Right.
And so the fog of war is the fog of war. And if you're blowing up narco boats and you go back for another kill shot, oh well. I mean,
look.
Is all this in an effort to save the credibility of Mark Kelly, who was filmed the video funded by George Soros?
Well, I mean, it's
really
clear that, he doesn't do a press conference if he doesn't feel like there's some credibility problems he's trying to.
Well, I mean, if the military is really looking into bringing him up on charges and he does a press conference, he's got to be worried.
I would think so. We'll see how this plays out. Speaking of worried,
yeah,
I think Governor Walz might be worried.
Mr. Crazy Hands.
This is Crazy Hands. Let's hear what the kind of fraudulent activities happening in this great state of Minnesota.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz deflecting on the fraud schemes that prosecutors say led to the theft of more than $1 billion in taxpayer funds. Many of the defendants are members of the state's Somali community. Let's bring in Minnesota House Speaker Lisa DeMeth. She is running against Tim Walz for governor. That election is next year. Lisa, for people who are catching up from the holiday weekend, how would you describe the fraud that was happening in Minnesota?
Fraud in Minnesota under the watch of Governor Walz has exploded in his 7 years as governor. There are 28 known scandals of fraud, just over 7 years. And as you heard, Dana, he has said that he takes responsibility for putting people in jail, but he's never apologized to the taxpayers. He's never taken accountability of saying this has happened on his watch, and he's pushed it aside until I, as Speaker of the House, established the Fraud Prevention and Agency Oversight Committee this legislative session, and it has finally drawn national attention. Something that has gone on for years, $1 billion or more of fraud under Governor Walz, finally getting national attention.
So it's crazy. So this is a situation, $1 billion it comes out of state coffers from taxpayers and gets sent to Somalia.
Well, and these were COVID funds, remember. Some of these were COVID funds that were sent off to the states to be spent indiscriminately.
Right.
And this goes back to how Democrats, and this is a fact, have been using nonprofits to fund their little campaigns and their cronies for years. For decades. And now that is ending and the lid is coming off.
Yeah.
And all hell is breaking loose all across the country.
But it's more than COVID funds.
But
these are welfare funds.
But it's a broad spectrum of funds. Yeah. And this was specifically targeted about 75 Somalis, and where these people were driving around in new cars and throwing around cash.
Well, the biggest issue is they're sending so much money back to
Somalia. Yeah. And now Trump is looking into it and looking into the Somali gangs that are running around rampant in Minneapolis. And this is the New York Times, the article that they had played it straight. And if the New York Times is playing it straight with a Democrat,
it's a problem.
You know it's a big problem. It's something they cannot just sweep under the rug.
Sweep under the rug. It's just too obvious.
Or they've had enough of Walz and the order has been given.
Maybe. I mean, he's too much of a liability now.
Well, I mean, I've always questioned his ties to China.
Well,
and everything else.
I mean, imagine
he's just
if he was
a shady guy.
Imagine if this scandal was breaking and he was the sitting vice president.
Oh my gosh.
Guy, we dodged a huge bullet on that one.
It's just amazing.
Speaking of bullets, not a good segue, but we got some new details about the shooter who shot and killed the National Guard's woman, and severely injured a National Guardsman.
Who's still in intensive care.
Both from West Virginia,
for
right?
Their family. Yeah.
They were stationed in D.C.
Happened over Thanksgiving, waking up Thanksgiving morning and looking at my phone and being like, "What? Wait, what?"
Yeah, it's terrible.
And this is horrendous. And
there is some positive news about Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, the West Virginia National Guardsman who survived an ambush attack in Washington, D.C. last Wednesday. Governor Patrick Morrisey said Wolf, still fighting for his life, gave a thumbs up when asked if he could hear a nurse and was able to wiggle his toes.
Funeral arrangements for Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, who was fatally wounded in the attack, are pending. A suspect has been charged with her murder. Nicole Skanga now on what we've learned about him.
CBS News has learned new details about the 29-year-old suspect, still in critical condition tonight and under guard in a Washington hospital. Rahnamala Lakhanwal's former caseworker told us that his mental condition deteriorated in recent months, saying he was isolated, suffering manic episodes, and rarely spoke to his wife or children. The FBI is now interviewing friends and family in Washington state and in San Diego, scrubbing through his social media accounts, looking for clues as to why the suspect allegedly drove 2,800 miles to Washington, D.C. to carry out last week's attack.
We believe he could have been radicalized in his home community and in his home state.
But U.S. intelligence officials tell CBS News so far there have been no confirmed links to any terrorist networks. Lochinwall served for 8 years in a CIA-backed Zero unit in Afghanistan, known for high-stakes raids targeting the Taliban. He was evacuated with the help of the U.S. government after the chaotic U.S. withdrawal in 2021. Andrew Sullivan served in Afghanistan and now runs a nonprofit that helps resettle Afghans who worked for the U.S. during the war.
The trust required for those.
So this is one of those instances where, we had a lot of people in Afghanistan that were trying to get out as a result of the withdrawal, the haphazard withdrawal.
The botched withdrawal.
By the Biden administration, which didn't, the problem was that they they didn't do any kind of like systemic vetting, processing. It was just chaos.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're getting out, Taliban's closing in, and people are like, oh, crap, I need to go because I've been working against the Taliban. I've been helping you, United States. And the Biden administration, not only did they leave tons of people behind, and American citizens behind, thousands, but people who are allies of ours who deserve to be out, and then others that were not vetted that got asylum or refugee status because of, and this is one of them, he was not vetted, but was able to come here. And,
but some interesting points that were made in that piece. I mean, he was working for the CIA. In what capacity with, fighting the Taliban? We don't really know what type of training he received or anything else. Was he radicalized here? It's unknown. At the same time, you have Democrats for the last several months demonizing the National Guard.
Yeah.
You have demonizing ICE, demonizing law enforcement, as they have for the better part of the last 6 years since the Black Lives Matter riots and everything else. And so that type of rhetoric just breeds this type of activity.
Yeah.
And they should all be ashamed.
100%.
Yeah, they should all be ashamed. This is blood on their hands.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. Yeah, blood on the Bidens, because the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan, the massive amounts of Islamic refugees that we've allowed into this country that we don't know if they're radicalized or not. And now we're seeing some of the fruits of that in areas across the country. And now you have this shooting of National Guard members who are basically doing their job. And then the Democrats have the nerve to then say, well, the National Guard should have never been there in the first place. Well, if the mayor and the police, DC police, had been doing their jobs, they wouldn't need to be there.
Right.
Over the last 20 years.
Right. Exactly.
And if anything, the young woman who was killed had said, and I saw this report yesterday, she was claiming that she wished she had more ability to do her job there, to enforce the law, because there was so much opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
So she was proud to serve there.
Right. I mean, it's the whole thing is just, it's tragic and frustrating and, maddening all at the same time. Lighter notes.
Yes.
So, any of our listeners who have young children will know that there was a big event over Thanksgiving, and that was the release of Zootopia 2.
Oh, good Lord.
This was 9 years in the making. The original Zootopia was released in 2016, and here we have in
and you've seen it.
Of course I've seen it.
I have not seen it as yet.
My daughter, Reagan, and my son, Vin, 6 years old and 4 years old, can basically sing the entirety of the song Zoo.
Oh, goodness.
By Shakira, which is the main song in the movie. But great movie. It grossed, check this out, grossed $500 million.
It did?
Worldwide over the Thanksgiving weekend.
Then it's that and Wicked
Yeah, but between that and
is saving Hollywood for the season, because up until this time, Hollywood has been a total.
It's been a bad year, and then it's now going to be a good year because these two movies came out and just crushed the box office.
Well, while you were watching Zootopia, you know what I was doing?
I don't know.
I was doing this. Roll the tape.
30 seconds to play in the third. Fake it to Brian Jackson. Mayava. Sideline. Towards the end zone.
Touchdown, Trojans.
How happy were you when that happened?
So,
you were there.
I was there. So I've been going to these games for the last 20 years. Literally 20 years. She's 24. 20 years with my daughter, Grace.
Wow.
I've been taking her to USC games for 20 years. It kind of dawned on me when we were there together. It was just the two of us. And USC, UCLA at the Coliseum. USC came out flat. It was 10-7 at half, and we're all just sitting there going, what the heck? This is like, what's going to break this game open? This is the play that broke the game open. The pass from Jacoby Lane from the quarterback to Mekhi Lemon. And then they were on a roll. They scored 22 unanswered points, and the crowd really got back into it.
Yeah.
But it was a big weekend of college football and a very controversial weekend of college football.
Yeah.
And this is my segue, as former USC coach who was fired on the tarmac, Lane Kiffin, who then went on to fame and fortune with Alabama, and then, of course, with Ole Miss, left Ole Miss to go coach for, what am I thinking about? LMU.
You went to LMU?
What am I thinking?
Or LSU?
LSU. What am I thinking? LSU.
Really?
And it's created this firestorm within college football, because Lane has done this now really 3 times.
Wow.
He left Tennessee after a year to go to USC. He got fired on the tarmac at USC. And then he had to leave Alabama early because he accepted a job at Florida Atlantic. I'm trying to remember it all. And this
guy's been hopping all over the place.
Saban said you had to go. Then he left Florida Atlantic to go to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is about to play in the college football playoffs, and he leaves for LSU.
Wow. Wild.
And each time he's like, well, this is the place I should be. And you know what that is, ladies and gentlemen? That's just lame. And that's why at USC, to this day, we call him Lame Kiffin.
Yeah, Lame Kiffin. Well, it was a disappointing weekend for ASU fans as we lost the Territorial Cup to
the University of Arizona. However, there's a bright spot in that, and I was at that game. And as you know, my daughter also works for ASU, so we're kind of divided within the family. Growing up in Tucson, rooting for University of Arizona. The bright spot about that is that ASU is going to be fine. They have a tremendous coach in Kenny Dillingham.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have a quarterback right now, and that was the biggest problem in that game.
Right.
Sims just made way too many mistakes, and he's not the guy.
I mean, it's hard to win a game if you have turnover the ball 5 times.
And you run the same play like 4 times, the quarterback, keeper, and you get stuffed.
Yeah.
The bright spot about the University of Arizona, and I do want to say this for all of our Tucson listeners, the University of Arizona needs a football team. They need a viable football program. They need a viable football culture, because in this day and age, that's where the money's being made. And the University of Arizona has been in debt. They've had a huge issue over the last 4 or 5 years. The Arizona football program had not been to a bowl up until last year for 6 years.
Yeah.
And that's where all the money's made.
Right. It's not basketball.
No, it's not basketball. As much as they would like it to be, you cannot be a basketball school anymore. Indiana figured that out.
Yep.
And went out, got some players, and now they're number 2 in the country. And I'm going to be playing Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
They figured it out. Like, we can't be viable as a institution unless we play, at the highest levels of football.
That's right.
So U of A needs to figure that out too. And they cannot play Kansas State or BYU with a half-empty stadium. They can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to show up. It doesn't matter if the game's at 9. It doesn't matter if the game's at 11. People got to wake up.
Got to have it.
It's game day.
Yeah. exactly. So. College football.
Sorry for the brain fart back.
Well, and as it
LSU.
happens, that there's a bill on the floor of the House today that protects the NIL.
Well, I think in Lane Kiffin's defense, which is an interesting defense.
Yeah,
the calendar is not kind to coaches or players. So signing day is tomorrow. Early signing day is tomorrow, which most people take advantage of. In order for you to take advantage of that, you've got to have a coach in place. And the playoffs haven't even started. Transfer portal opens up this week as well. It makes no sense. Signing day should be go back to the spring, and the transfer portal shouldn't even be open until April.
Yeah.
Let the teams finish out their seasons. Let the coaches finish out their seasons, and then entertain, whether you can move to another program or whatever. It's not fair to the players. It's really not fair to the coaches either. Lane, he gets criticism the way he handled it, rightfully so. But at the same time, he's got to go. If he's going to go, he's got to go now.
Yeah.
To be able to take advantage of the way the calendar is set up, which is unfortunate.
Right. So the act that is on the floor today provides for, to protect the name, image, and likeness rights of student athletes and promote fair competition with respect to the intercollegiate athletics and for other purposes, providing for consideration, blah, blah, blah. So there's college sports in general.
Yeah.
On the floor of the House.
Well, if they can clamp down on the transfer portal, I think that would be, or change, make it just a one window deal. I think that would change a lot.
That would change a lot.
And move signing date back to February. It used to be the first Wednesday of February.
That's an NCAA.
Yeah, those are all NCAA, prerogatives.
Yeah.
That would make a huge difference. And Nick Saban, I think, said it rightfully over the weekend. It just requires leadership. Requires everyone coming together and do what's best for the student athlete, not what's best for everybody's coffers. And right now, the student athlete, all those kids at Ole Miss are suffering. He's going to take a bunch of coaches with them.
Yeah.
It destroys the program.
That's a problem.
Again, his defense, even though I hate to do it, that's the way the system is kind of set up, that he has to leave.
Yeah.
If he's going to leave.
The system is...
I don't think he should have left. I don't think he gains anything by going to LSU, but he had to go.
Yeah. Well, we got to make it about the kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Make it about the kids. When in doubt, make it about the kids.
Yeah, so go see Zootopia.
Yes, go see Zootopia 2 and the second Wicked.
The second Wicked. I will not be going to see the second Wicked.
No?
I'll be going to see Zootopia, though.
Yeah, Zootopia 2. That was good. All right, folks. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Again, thank you so much for listening. Remember, we are a podcast about faith, freedom, and free enterprise, the founding principles of our fair republic.
That's right. Like and subscribe, folks.
God
we
bless.
appreciate it.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
listening.
See ya.